For these reasons, this pathologist cannot rule out if any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Understand, he's saying based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play.
This has been a difficult journey. Losing a child, it truly breaks your heart. It is a pain that is just, you can't measure it.
Lord God, how long must we continue to pay evil a toll at the gateway towards justice? How long must we see our children lie bleeding in the streets, in the sand, in the water, and the asphalt pavements of this nation?
Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were almost 300, 400 people. Somebody knows something.
Now, looking at the way these black folks is carrying on about this Nolan Wells situation down in Mississippi reminds me of something that the layman, the unread, the uneducated, the spiritually dead will never understand. Looking at this situation regarding Noah Wells down in Mississippi reminds me of my favorite book. Yes, it reminds me of the Bible. Now, before you run away, right? Before you run away because you don't understand, and therefore you don't understand, so you lack understanding, so you run away whenever somebody tries to get deep, right? But in my favorite book, there's a particular set of passages, right, that remind me of the Nolan Wells situation. And in that particular set of passages, there is a condemnation and there is a sentence that is given, and it was a righteous condemnation and it was a righteous sentence that was given. But many people did not understand why this sentence was given. And just as in those days, people didn't understand why that sentence was given and that condemnation was made, in our day, people don't understand why the condemnation in the sentence that Black America has been given is absolutely necessary. I'm looking at the Nolan Wells situation, and it reminds me of ancient Israel, right? Now, if you know anything about the scriptures, you know that the God of the Bible liberated the Israelites from captivity in Egypt. And there's a lot of things that Black America feels they have in common with these Israelites. Many people believe that it's a parallel experience. They actually believe that what happened to the Israelites is a foreshadowing, or was a foreshadowing, of what would happen to us. Now, just as we were freed out of slavery, the Israelites were freed out of Egypt. And for a while, those Israelites were thankful, right, that they had been freed out of Egypt. Understand that. Just as black folks, black America was thankful and grateful and happy and jubilant when they were freed out of slavery. But just like the Israelites began to murmur only a few months after they were freed out of bondage in Egypt, the black American, full of hatred, full of vitriol, soon after being freed from captivity in America, he started to murmur. He started to murmur so much that the hatred that he had in his heart, it consumed him. It consumed us, right? And due to that hatred and that vitriol and that resentment, we begin a reign of terror in this country that we call America. I want you to follow me because we're going to get deep. Now, when the Israelites began to murmur, as we are told in the book of Numbers, when the Israelites began to resent the one who freed them, there was a judgment made. There was a condemnation made. And as with any condemnation, there was a punishment that had to be given. Now, I'm going to read what this punishment was, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly why the Nolan well situation reminds me of this situation that the ancient Israelites faced in the desert, in the wilderness of Arabia. Here it says, Jehovah then said to Moses and Aaron, how much longer will this evil, see this evil, you see that word evil? Just like there was an element of evil, an evil element among ancient Israel, there is a contingent of evil that exists among Black America. He said, how much longer will this evil assembly keep up this murmuring against me? I have heard what the Israelites are murmuring against me. Say to them, as surely as I live, declares Jehovah, I will do to you just as I have heard you speak. In this wilderness, your corpses will fall. Yes, the whole number of you from 20 years old and up who were registered, all of you who have murmured against me, none of you will enter into the land that I swore to have you reside in, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun. And I will bring in your children, who you said would become plunder, and they will get to know the land that you have rejected. But your own corpses will fall in the wilderness. Now your sons will become shepherds in the wilderness for 40 years, and they will have to answer for your acts of unfaithfulness until the last one of your corpses falls in the wilderness. According to the number of days that you spied out the land, 40 days, a day for a year, a day for a year. You will answer for your errors 40 years, for you will know what it means to oppose me. Now, what did that mean? The judgment was made that because of the murmuring, the resentment, and the hatred, and the evilness within the heart of these people, every person above a certain age would have to die in the wilderness. That group of people would not be allowed to enter into the land that was promised to them because they were an evil, no good, unappreciative, ungrateful group of people. So they would be forced to die in the wilderness, and their children who were innocent would be allowed to go forward and enter into the promised land without them. Now let's switch back to this situation with Noah Wells. Lord, I'll tell you one thing. There will be no greater day of Jubilee. There will be no greater day of happiness and celebration than the day when all these old gray-headed niggas are no longer able to stand in our way. I'm going to say that again so I can get demonetized on YouTube. There will be no happier day. There will be no greater day of jubilation. There will be no greater time for celebration. There will be no greater time for exaltation than the day when these old gray-headed niggas are removed from our path as we seek to build a greater life for ourselves, not only in America, but across the globe. When I tell you that the gray-headed above 60-year-old nigga in America is the greatest impediment to progress that the black man, woman, and child has ever faced in this life or any life before this existence or after this existence, I cannot emphasize that to the level of emphasis that it rightfully deserves. Because every time we take a step forward, it's a gray-headed nigga in the way trying to drag us back. Nolan Wells was not murdered. Nolan Wells is the victim of a tragic accident. Nolan Wells' mama and daddy did not bring in extra corners, Ben Crump, and all the race hustlers to prove that Nolan Wells was murdered. They brought them in to prove that Nolan Wells died in an accidental death so they could recoup insurance money for a personal injury that caused death, not because they wanted to find out whether or not he was murdered by his group of friends. Understand that. They don't even believe this boy was murdered. They're only insinuating that he was murdered. They won't even come out and say it. They're only insinuating that he was murdered because they know that they could use that. They could use speculation and hypothetical ideas and situations to dupe the Black American chumps that will always react emotionally to any type of drama or trauma that is laid at their feet into sending them millions of dollars in donations. That is it. They created a spectacle for you that is not even loosely embedded or based in reality. They created a vaudeville act to entertain you, to move you emotionally so that they could profit. Nolan Wells' mama and daddy had the autopsy for this boy for a whole week prior to the 117th annual NAACP National Convention. They waited. They waited like snakes. They waited like predators in the grass for there to be a moment of celebration for Black people. They found their moment, the celebration of the corrupt anti-Black NAACP, and they used this celebration as a springboard to deceive Black people with a racially motivated murder hoax, which they knew would cause a emotional reaction among our people and could be used to steal millions and millions of dollars from a group of people who everybody say ain't got no money. And the fool who hates himself will say that I hate myself because I am exposing the facts for what they are. Why did Benjamin Crump have to do a press conference at the 117th annual NAACP National Convention? Why did Benjamin Crump, who on his own autopsy report highlighted that everything that had taken place up to now with the body of Nolan Wells was part of the normal process when it comes to performing an autopsy on the body, but then chose to cast doubt on the findings of the autopsy, all in an effort to convince Black folks that there was some type of foul play that took place when it came to Nolan Wells. Listen, guys, there's a man named Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum is on the ground right now in Mississippi, interviewing the people involved in the case, investigating what's going on with the case. And according to his research and the facts that we know, the way the parents are going on about this situation, it's becoming very clear that Nolan Wells was not murdered. What many people believe, and what I believe to be true, is that Nolan Wells got extremely drunk and he ended up drowning on that island. Now, a lot of people didn't even know Nolan Wells was a Filipino. He's half Filipino. And on his social media, on his mama's social media, they make it very clear that they strongly identify with the Filipino portion of their genetic makeup, their ethnic makeup. One thing we know about Asian people is that they really struggle to process alcohol. This is a scientific fact. As a person who worked as a bouncer at an all-Asian club years ago called V2O down on the shoreline of Long Beach, I could not tell you the amount of drunk Asian girls and men we had to drag out of that club every night because these people, due to the way their metabolism is set up, are not very good at metabolizing liquor. I believe that Nolan Wells was someone who, on a regular basis, went to party and drink with his friends. But I also believe that Nolan Wells, due to his heritage and his genetic makeup, was someone who could not handle his liquor to the same degree as the white boys he hung around could. I believe Nolan Wells had too much to drink. I believe Nolan Wells might have fell asleep on the beach. And I believe Nolan Wells drowned as the tide rose that night. There's just too much evidence pointing away from this idea that there was a racially motivated murder. As far as we know, the friends of Nolan Wells fully cooperated with law enforcement. Hell, they're even fully cooperating with Brandon Tatum, who's no longer a member of law enforcement. And it's not looking like these people have something to hide. So I'm going to go out on a limb that I believe is the strongest one. Black folks is lying once again. Benjamin Crump is lying once again. Black American, elderly, church-going, sanctified degenerates are lying once again. The NAACP is lying once again. They are manipulating you. They are taking advantage of you. They are hustling you, and they are grifting you because they know that in our community, hyper-emotionalism rules the day. We don't know the truth. Most of us don't want to know the truth. As long as believing a lie gives us an excuse to react emotionally, play the race card, and blame white folks for every negative thing that happens to us. Even though, just like in the case of Nolan Wells, the vast majority of the time, it is our actions and our decision-making that end up condemning us at the end of the day. Let's click over here to this brief interview segment.
I was with my buddy Brooks. I just found his body. And I was like, I wanted to have hope, but it was really, really hard to have hope when they haven't found your buddy in the last 2 days. And, but there's still a little bit of hope there. But my reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder and I cried and I was upset. And so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was. And I just remember like, it was insane. Like I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know, and how upset my friends were. So.
And then comes the stories.
Now, they told us that one of these boys' mama is a judge. These dudes are lying. Their stories ain't adding up. Let me ask you a very simple question that even a person with the sense of dog could understand and answer. If your mama is a judge and you've actually done something wrong, wouldn't sitting down with an unofficial investigator, someone who is no longer law enforcement, wouldn't that be something that they would tell you not to do? I mean, just let that sink in. If there was any chance at all that you could be brought up on charges for the death of Nolan Wells, why on earth would your family, who has a history within law enforcement and the judicial apparatus of that area, why would they let you sit down and answer questions from an unofficial investigator? This is the only question I'm asking. In my mind, it's very clear. There is no way that these dudes had anything to do with Nolan Wells' death. It is only in that capacity would I or anybody who has sense allow their child to sit down and answer questions about Nolan Wells' death. This boy is saying, when I got the news, I was devastated. I did not expect it. I wanted to keep hope alive, but it was crazy. I broke down. How you're going to take that and spin that into somehow these dudes, you know, out of racial animus, murdering Nolan Wells is beyond me. Ben Crump is trying. He's trying to cast doubt on the situation. Oh, stuff ain't adding up. Nothing adds up when you don't know how to do basic math. Nothing adds up to people who can't read at a basic third grade level. Nothing adds up when your entire existence is rooted in the idea of plausible deniability and entertaining baseless conspiracy theories to make yourself feel better about being a degenerate, lazy bum who don't want nothing better out of life for you and don't want nothing better out of life for your family.
Backlash
Right.
and the craziness. I mean, you guys are now hearing that you're responsible for it. You did it. You killed Nolan. So what was the next step? Did you guys ever engage with police or?
Yeah. So the first time I talked to the police was July 7th. I talked to the lead investigator and I told them my whole story, top to bottom. I told them everything I knew, every little detail. I mean, everything I could, tell them to try to figure something out,
Well, you don't want to talk to the cops or?
No, of course
some
not.
Other guys do?
Every person that was included, especially, the guys that you see on social media, everybody cooperated with the police fully. Nolan was with us on the way out and he rode out on the boats with us. So, I mean, we were the first people to get questioned. I mean, we cooperated with the police the first time they called us and, we talked to them, as soon as they needed and we were fully cooperative.
And we see Benjamin Crump coming to town, hated about race. What's your feeling about that? Do you think that any of this has anything to do with race or, because I mean, obviously something happened to Nolan. It's no evidence that you were involved at all. You guys had left.
Right.
But do you think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I mean, I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us. But if you go look on, like my friends have had Nolan posted all over our social medias, since freshman year in high school. If Nolan ever felt uncomfortable with us, why would he be hanging out with us all the time? I mean, every time.
So all of a sudden, these boys he's been hanging out with since he was a freshman in high school, they just because randomly they ain't done none of this all these years, but just on that day on that boat, they developed racial hatred towards Nolan and decided, you know what, we gonna kill this dude. Do black people even stop to think of how preposterous the shit that we be saying really sounds? Do we really stop and think how ignorant we sound when we try to make a connection or pull racial hatred and bigotry out of a situation where none exists? These dudes basically grew up with this dude and just randomly that day, they was like, yeah, let's kill this nigga. Come on, bro. You can't be this lame. And that's what it is. It's lame. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It is something that black people continue to do to distract from the fact that as a collective in this country, we have failed. We have failed to hit the mark when it comes to collective progress and accomplishments in this country. We are so far off the mark, we have been reduced down to blaming other blacks for our problems simply based on their geographical location or where they're born. It ain't really us, it's them other blacks because they was born in Jamaica. Just pure ignorance. And the NAACP and the grifters and the con artists, they have identified the inconsistency in the way you receive and break down information. And they are exploiting you to the highest level of exploitation. They are taking a group of people who everybody say ain't got no money and finding a way to extract millions and millions and millions of dollars from your community based on pure lies and deception. And many of us are so brain dead and delusional, we can see it, but we don't want to see it. And we would rather get scammed and abused and used and taken advantage of than just admit, look, man, we need to wait. We need to wait to learn the facts about this situation so we don't run our ass out there and get manipulated. Nolan Wells' family then collected almost $1 million from gullible Negroes who are just itching for George Floyd 2.0, who literally need an excuse and a reason to try to play the victim just so that they can stomach their existence for another year or two. Y'all really thought y'all had George Floyd 2.0. And from where I'm sitting, it's not looking like y'all do.
Every day we're back from college, we hang out and we're around each other all the time. So absolutely not. I would never look at Nolan any other way than I would any of my other friends. I mean, he was like a brother to me.
Now y'all gonna convince y'all, yeah, this white boy killed Nolan. He's in on it. He lying. How you know? Because black folks all of a sudden have developed the ability to read minds. Everything you think and believe has been implanted in your brain. Fear-based programming by somebody who, though they may be a lawyer,
Dr. Roger Mitchell.
From where I'm sitting, this man, Benjamin Crump, can't barely even read. Y'all didn't let an illiterate convince you that there's something there when there's nothing there. Yet you claim to be smart. You claim to be intelligent. How smart can you be if someone could jump off of a plane and in 5 minutes convince you to believe something that is totally rooted in pure speculation and fantasy? How smart can you be really? If someone has a formula by which they can consistently manipulate you to do what they want you to do, you're not that intelligent. That means you're not even thinking. You're just being led whichever way they want you to go. You know, have any of y'all ever rode a horse? You know, a horse, once you put the halter on the horse, you control the head of the horse. So even a child could lead a 1,500-pound horse all over the place as long as they place the halter over behind their ears and over their mouth. They could take that horse anywhere, and that horse is ultimately powerless to do anything about it. That's black folks. These grifters and con artists have figured out a formula that allows them to manipulate black people so completely that they can literally speculate. They can literally remodel their homes and take out loans with this calculation, and how effective it is when it comes to manipulating black folks to the tune of millions and millions and millions of dollars. His family, bourgeoisie, black elitist, knew exactly the imagery they needed to create to get $1 million out of y'all fools. They knew exactly the imagery they needed to create to put pressure on the insurance company to pay them out for a wrongful death or accidental death, personal injury for their son. And now the NAACP has gotten in on the grift because you know they paid them something to do the press conference there. I think they said that even Black Lives Matter has now rose from the ashes to come in and exploit you ignorant Negroes for whatever money they could get out of you. And you're going to give them exactly what they want because you're afraid to think. You're afraid to have your own mind. So you need people like Ben Crump and other black grifters to tell you what to think. You need them to lead you around by the head like a horse with a halter on because you refuse to think for yourself.
Dr. Roger Mitchell said that the focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, if you can, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know at autopsy. The reason.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something. Ben Crump talked about the neck being removed from the body. And Benjamin Crump clearly says that this is common practice when an autopsy is performed. He says it's common practice that they remove the throat from the body when they perform autopsy. Even though Benjamin Crump said that this is common practice, notice how black people was screaming and hollering in the crowd when Benjamin Crump made that statement. He told you it was common practice. He said that the throat was not in the body when he received the body. Black people, wow, let's pretend to be shocked. Right after the man said, this is common practice that the throat is removed when they're performing an autopsy. There were also organs removed. This was said in an earlier part of the press conference. Ben Crump made it very clear that the organs were removed. They were placed in like bags or containers. And when they sent the body to DC, right, they shipped the organs with him. Do you know black folks is still talking about they killed this dude to harvest his organs? And I said it on my last show, and I'll say it again. Black people are the most unhealthy group of people on this earth. Why would anybody who is anybody want to harvest our organs? Diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver disease, heart disease, everything else. But they can't wait to kill you, to take your diseased organs out of your body to give to somebody else. You must be outside of your mind if you are dumb enough to believe that. I am a donor. I am an organ donor. If I die, these fat covered organs in my body, if somebody is brave enough to take them, they will be given to people who need an organ. I'm sure they won't be the first organs on the list to be handed out. Do you realize how stupid you got to be to think that us, being the most unhealthy group of people in America, are first in line for murder for the sake of organ harvesting in America? Do you realize how dumb you have to be to believe that? But in the black community, it doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if it's grounded in reality. Just as long as it's something that we want to believe, we'll go around spreading it like wildfire. We'll go around perpetuating an absolute lie if it makes us feel better about being dead last in every statistical category that is positive in America.
He says he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But
this guy's an idiot. Was he forced or unforced? What word on earth is unforced? A 5-year-old know that unforced is not a word. This guy is just up there saying anything to get a reaction out of you crazy, lazy niggas. And it's working. It's working. Some mushmouth lawyer is on stage trying to make something out of what is an absolute nothing burger. And you guys are so ignorant that you will allow yourself to fall for it. You will allow yourself to fall for it. just because you feel like it gives you the opportunity to play the victim. This is peak low IQ behavior. This is almost as bad as when they hold the index card in front of us with very simple sentences and black folks can't read them. We swear we smart. We swear we smarter than everybody else. We swear every other group is dumb and they don't have the insight that we have. But every time we're given an opportunity to prove it, we fail. At some point, when you fail enough times, you just got to call it for what it is. Black folks are reactionary. Black folks are they are viciously opposed to new information that doesn't simply confirm what they want to believe. They're highly inclined towards confirmation bias. We don't want to know the facts. We just want the information that seems to corroborate what we want to believe. We have confirmation bias. And people like Benjamin Crump understand that, and they exploit us every single time. We don't want the truth. We just want confirmation of what we want to believe.
Started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern to him.
And then Benjamin Crump, once he know he cooking, and this was a very lackluster, presentation. It was real weak. It was real weak, and black folks still fell for it. But see, I can't even blame the younger generation because we know the reality. You got this older generation of gray-headed Negroes who, even though they know the truth, they know better. They know Al Sharpton is a con man. They know Benjamin Crump is a con artist. They will still go sit their asses in seats at a press conference to sit up and clap and perpetuate pure dishonesty and grifting, just so they could feel like they're doing something. I'm telling you, I've said it once and I've said it again. These are the descendants of the failed civil rights movement, and they have retroactive regret that the civil rights movement was an utter failure. So now they're going to keep our people bogged down under the pressure of the pseudo resurgence of the civil rights movement until we, like them, have gray all up in our head and we're too old to do anything about it. And I'm telling you, there will be no better time. There will be no greater day of celebration in the black community than when these old Negroes are gone for good. I'm telling you, there will be no greater day of celebration than when these old Negroes are no longer able to stop up the doorway. Like the Bible says, they don't want to go in, but they also want to prevent those who want to go in from going in. They don't want nothing better with their life, but they want to stand in the way of black folks who want to do what it takes to create a better situation in their own lives, because we have to be bogged down and manipulated and forced into supporting an absolutely fraudulent hoax as these people try to create George Floyd 2.0 to give them an excuse to burn down cities all over America and hand back the presidency to the Democrat Party that's been straight up manipulating them, using and abusing them for over 75 years. That's all this is about. Just like with St. George Floyd, a black man died. Not a single black person benefited from that, other than the 3 lesbians who started BLM, and a white man who goes by the name of Joe Biden. Ain't it crazy how as a black man or black men, we do the dying, but everybody else who's not a black man benefits from it? The BLM founders became wealthy. They got multi-million-dollar portfolios off of black male death. Joe Biden, someone who never ever had a chance to even sniff the presidency, was gifted the presidency all off the corpse of a black man. Ain't it funny how a bunch of mediocre people were propelled into the leadership apparatus of this country based on the death of a black man? How long are you going to put up with that? How long are you going to stay on this ride before you say, you know what? I need to hop off this this roller coaster? How long are you going to allow yourself to be exploited and then discarded like you're nothing? How long are you going to allow that to happen? How long are you going to let somebody who can't even read at a 3rd grade level keep gaslighting you on the internet? How long are you going to let these people keep pulling your strings like Geppetto and triggering your emotions to the point where you're sending millions and millions of dollars to these bums? Because all they do, they live off of deceiving and grifting black folks. They literally have a strategy for what they do. And they know because of who they're dealing with, the black community, the strategy will work every single time. The Democrats have used this strategy for over 75 years. And everybody in the Democrat circle understands exactly what makes black people tick. And they understand exactly what you need to do to manipulate black folks into operating against their own best interest. They know every formula you need to convince black people to operate, to vote, to love, to consume food, to consume music in a way that flies directly in the face or that is the polar opposite of what's best, what serves their own best interest. These people got us figured out. You think you special, you're unremarkable. You think you got something figured out, you're a fool standing outside who ain't got a clue. The people manipulating you, the Ben Crumps, Nolan Wells family, they got you figured out. They know you better than you know yourself. That's how they knew how to extract $1 million out of you in a matter of days. That's how they knew how to get you to pay for and fund all of their expenses when they're about to get a humongous insurance payout over that boy's death. Understand that. They know you better than you know yourself. And if you want to blame somebody, all you can blame is yourself. It ain't these white boys' fault over there in Mississippi. It ain't Brandon Tatum's fault for doing his interview and exposing the truth. It's not my fault for bringing the truth to you again and laying it at your feet. It's not my fault. It's your own fault because you're ignorant, you're unlearned, and you don't want to learn. The truth is there, but you don't want to know the truth because the minute you know the truth, the minute you're learned, you're educated, now you have to do the number one thing that black people are terrified to do. Take responsibility for your actions. Nolan Wells made a lot of bad decisions that night, and it ended up costing his life. But because a lot of black folks just are viciously opposed to taking responsibility for their actions, they are searching for a way to make Nolan Wells' death about something other than a kid who was drinking underage, who had too much to drink and fell asleep on the beach and drowned to death. It's just sick.
At Horn Island, this is where the lie started, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, You have the Horn Island here. But I want you guys to put this in your mind what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and for what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man, get on the boat, get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was gonna stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat, he didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. This is where the lie started. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie.
We know it's a lie. Black folks know that stuff is a lie. But collectively, we don't care. We don't care if something's a lie, as long as it gives us a reason to play the race card. We will believe and spread a lie that we know is a lie. We will pay people to lie for us, and we will pay people to lie to us. That's why you have Ben Crump on stage having a press conference. There is nothing that man can say that actually makes it look like this boy was killed by his friends. But that's not going to stop him from trying. That's not going to stop him from trying. He will continue to try to make it look like there was foul play. He will continue to make it look like somebody murdered something. And it makes sense because he benefits from that. He's not working for free. Did Ben Crump take this case pro bono? Like, hey, yo, you don't even got to pay me, son. I'm going to take this because it's the right thing to do. Hell no. Ben Crump is the lawyer who, once you get your millions, he come in for a 40% cut and say, yeah, you would have never got that much if we didn't work your case. We know it's a lie. And as a black person, let me be the first to tell you, we're tired of it. We are tired of the manipulation. We are tired of the hatred. We are tired of the vitriol. We're tired of these politicians just deciding to raise, to just, not even politicians, to these grifters in collusion with politicians. We are tired of these people manipulating us, charging us up emotionally, and then letting us down when we find out that the stuff they told us to get riled up over is nothing but a nothing burger. Understand. I'm with you hard, right? 100%. Brandon, we were doing so good. Do you remember back in the 90s? TLC was my first black girl crush. Then the Democrats reintroduced racism. Obama did it too. We were doing good. We were all united in our hatred of the federal government. And then here come Obama to bring the niggas back on the plantation. Hope and change. Things gonna be better. He promised you hope and change. The only thing that changed was he got rich and became a billionaire, and you got nothing. But you still gonna follow him. We loved Obama. I heard a black person say, yeah, we know Obama never did nothing for us, but we still love him because he's our first black. Like, bro, if you don't get that shit out of here, if you don't get that BS out of here, these people just know you goofy. They know you don't care about nothing. All Ben Crump got is, oh, the examiner had a little bit of concern about the red mark on the back of his neck. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Y'all done did surgery to remove the throat out of his body. I'm sure it's going to leave some bruising and discoloration on the back of his neck. You don't need to be a surgeon to know that. But anything to keep the gullible black brigade emotionally charged, thinking that these white folks then did something to this dude. Whatever happened to Nolan Wells, he did it to himself. Whatever happened to Nolan Wells, he did it to himself. And we just can't accept that. We just have to find a reason for that not to be true. Because as a black person, we can never admit that somebody might have just made a mistake, even though our people are making mistakes every single day. Understand that. Our people are making bad decisions every single day. And we're going to act like there's no possible way black people could ever do anything wrong. And the minute you start thinking like that, you make yourself a candidate for manipulation and exploitation. 100%, Sean. Nothing but an ambulance chaser. Stop letting yourself get bamboozled. Stop allowing these people to take advantage of you. Let these people know, listen, man, the piggy bank is closed. You're not going to be able to manipulate us into putting millions and millions of dollars into your pocket anymore. You're not going to be able to manipulate us into doing that. We're done with you. A significant portion of us are done with the Democrat Party and every race hustler and grifter that's connected to it. We want to be left alone. We want to be able to pursue happiness. We want to be able to we want to have, we want to have the exercise our right to self-determination. We're not trying to hurt nobody. We don't want nobody to hurt us. But there is no way that we can survive as a group of people when we are operating totally based on emotion. This same bullshit, this same crap every single time. Oh my God, now the Hebrew Israelites is out here marching, ain't gonna do shit, but they're doing it to get their little 15 seconds of fame. So people know that they still out there. Most of them can't read worth a damn anyway, but they're marching for Nolan Wells. Okay, you marching, but what you gonna do? Nothing. Because no matter what you do, you're not gonna be able to save Nolan Wells from the mistake he made. He's dead. And instead of letting people rest and move past it, these people just gonna keep it alive, keep resurrecting it like a zombie from the grave, so they could keep using it to try to manipulate people.
Hey, Nolan Wells! Hey, Nolan Wells! Hey, Nolan Wells! Hey, Nolan Wells! We left that church. We left that church. And this is how it goes. This is how it goes. My reverend, there when I left. You're right. Pastor was there when I left. You're right. Teacher, there when I left. You're right. The elder was there when I left. You're right. Hey, Nolan Wells! 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 Yes, sir, Nolan Wells! Yes, sir, Nolan Wells! Hey, 200 years! Hey, 200 years! Yes, sir, Nolan Wells! Yes, sir, Nolan Wells! 16, 19! Yes, sir, here we go! Hey, Nolan Wells! Yes, sir, know the truth. You're right.
Okay, so now that they done shook their ass in front of the cameras, what is that going to amount to? What is that? Why don't they go march for the fact that, the fight against the statistic that tells us that a bunch of little black boys can't read at grade level. Why don't they go march to keep these kids in school? Because all these people seek to do is profit off of Black death. They don't give a damn about Nolan. They don't care what happened to Nolan Wells. All they care about is whether or not they can get some publicity off of his death. All they care about is whether or not they can get some publicity off of Nolan Wells' death. I promise you that. And it's really sad and it's really disgusting. It's really sad and it's really disgusting. These people need to, man, bro, these people are just diabolical. That's the only word I could think to describe them. These people are straight up evil. And this, and as long as we've been here, you would think we would have developed a process to kind of identify the black folks who are just evil and trying to take advantage of us. 100%, Mark Scott. Why don't they march when it's black on black crime? 100%. Because they don't care about Black death. They only care about Black death when they believe that they can weaponize it against a white person. That's it. They only believe in fighting or tripping or going off over Black death when they feel like they can weaponize it against someone of another race, someone who is a different color from us. That is it. Masan, talk about the Proud Boys marching. The Proud Boys ain't burning down cities. The Proud Boys aren't hurting people. The Proud Boys aren't looting businesses. So why would I talk about them? It's not even the same thing. Tell me, guys, show me one business that was looted by the Proud Boys. And I'll curse the Proud Boys every time I go live. Show me one business that was looted, burned down, or destroyed by the Proud Boys. I will wait. I will wait. The answer is zero. The answer is zero. But you want to try to convince yourself that the Proud Boys are as big of a threat as BLM, Antifa, all these damn domestic terrorist groups we've allowed to take over, we've allowed to take over America. We've allowed to take over our communities. We've allowed to commit heinous acts that we as Black people get blamed for. We start a peaceful march. They send their agents in to start looting and burning stuff down. And at the end of the day, it just looked like Black people are animalistic. They don't care about you. They don't like you. They don't want to like you. They don't even want to know you. They just want to use the things that happen to you as a springboard from which to launch their criminal terrorist activity, as a springboard to launch their criminal terrorist network. That is it. That is it, and that's all. And if you believe these people care about you, you are a new fool. You are a new fool. Right? You never heard of the Proud Boys today, blame them for January 6th. Right. Right. Proud Boys didn't have nothing to do with January 6th. But they didn't stop that from them giving their leader a life sentence, which I think he got out, or a 20-year sentence or something. But all this is about is fraudulent pseudo-empathy, right? Pseudo-empathy, that's empathy that is basically weaponized against the federal government because they don't like who's in charge right now. That's all this is about. Nothing less, nothing more. Nothing less, nothing more. These people, man, they disgust me. They really do disgust me. They disgust me. And it's like, what are you going to do? But when you look at other avenues of Black behavior, you kind of understand why we just like, please just tell us what to think. Please just tell us what to think. Because a lot of us don't want to learn. A lot of us don't want to get an education and develop a skill so that we can move up in the workforce and, be able to prosper. We don't care. We just want someone to tell us everything we need to know. We just want someone to give us everything. That's why when you look at black people, stuff like socialism and reparations and all this nonsense, it appeals. We are responding to this bullcrap more than any other group of people on the planet, because we have become obsessed with the idea of someone giving us something for free. But what we know is the fact: nothing is free in this life. You will pay for it somehow. You will pay for it some way. And right now, because of the environment you've created, you're paying for it with the lives of your children. Not only the ones that are gunned down in the street, but the ones that you murder inside the womb when you go get an abortion. Believe me, black people are paying the price for everything we did wrong. We are paying the price for choosing the path of dishonesty, deception, and deceit instead of choosing the path of truth, instead of choosing a path of righteousness, of love, community, connection. And just like the Bible says, I believe it's in Matthew, I forgot the scripture, but everything that was meant for us, it will be taken from us and given to a nation bearing its fruit. It will be taken from us and given to a group of people that actually wants to do something with it. Believe that. Believe that. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to explain, but it's very difficult to get black folks to accept this. And it's going to cost us everything at the end of the day. There ain't no two ways about it. It is going to cost us everything at the end of the day. Let's listen to this fool mom.
Be like Nolan. In a world that can often feel dark, be like Nolan. Be the light that brightens the lives of those around you. Be the warmth for those who may be feeling the coldness of the world. Love deeply, protect fiercely, and welcome others with kindness. And remain faithful knowing that God is always with you. Lastly, I ask that each of you keep Nolan's memory alive. Hold him close in your hearts. In a world that can often feel dark, be like Nolan. Be the light that brightens the lives of those around you. Be the warmth for...
This lady's a con artist, man. That's all I can gather from this. This lady is a con artist. She knows exactly what she's doing, right? Like, she's manipulating everyone. The dad, he's a damn manipulator too. He's a manipulator too. But you can't tell us nothing. You can't tell us nothing. Let's listen to this. Tesla and Figaro. Let's listen to this. Another grifter. Lately the grifters haven't really had anything to grift on. So this gave them what they wanted. They got a little something that they want to carry into the midterms to convince black people to vote for horrible leadership and self-destruction all over Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells' mom and daddy was part of the bourgeoisie that black people swear they hate. Yeah, we done sent them $1 million.
Oh, there we go. Wrap it up. We got 10 seconds.
What happened to Nolan? Let's use the rest of this 10 seconds to ask his friends.
Okay, we all know what happened. He wanted to stay behind to talk to a girl. He was drinking. He was showing off. He went to the edge of an island where, if you know anything about islands, at the corner point tip of an island, when there's a channel, when the tides switch, it makes the currents very strong. At the tip of these sorts of islands, it always drops off. There's a shallow part, and then there's an abrupt drop. Gets really deep, happens all the time. I've seen it firsthand. I've worked on the beach as a lifeguard firsthand, had the radio, was able to hear when there were reports of people drowning or almost drowned or whatever. That's how it happens. People fall in all the time. They get carried away in the current, they panic, go under for like 45 plus seconds, and it's over. Not that complicated, not that deep, but that's not good enough for these people because of a concocted rumor from a group of people who hate our guts. They hate white people with a passion. And what they hate more is the fact that white people aren't lynching them. The fact that white people aren't out killing people.
Oh yeah, black folks, we ain't getting enough racism for white folks, so we're now at the point where we have to manufacture racism. The grifters, the con artists like Ben Crump, them, dude, their profits are down because white folks ain't doing nothing. This whole idea, ever since defund the police failed, these hustlers haven't been able to hit their numbers because black and white people realize, yo, we need the police. These niggas is out of hand, right? So defund the police was a failure. So now they literally have to manufacture racism. Look at what they were doing with the Southern Poverty Law Center. Look at what they were doing at the Southern Poverty Law Center. Literally paying racists. Hey, we got to have something to grift with. We need y'all to keep up the racially motivated attacks. Right? 100% Miss Berry, my girl. USAID and the SPLC went out of business. Guys, let me ask you now to please help us reach our contribution goal. We are asking not for 10. Let me see. We are asking for 5 super chats of $5 or more. I try to make it very simple. We are asking for 5 super chats of $5 or more. We're going to cover another story because BLM has resurged after a black man tried to basically kill police officers and he effed around and found out. And now BLM, I'm telling y'all, when I tell you that these people are on a hunt for the next George Floyd, they listen, they understand that their chances of winning the midterms are slowly slipping away because they're running all of these radicalized candidates. So they desperately need another George Floyd. The Democrat liberal playbook is very predictable. They need a black body. They need a black body to use as the catalyst to convince black people to vote against their own best interest in favor of the Democrats, who not only will never do anything for them, but in favor of the Democrats that we know are trying to replace us with illegal Hispanic immigrants. We know they're trying to replace us. Voting Democrat right now is literally political suicide if you're an African American. But they know that if they get a body, they know that if they can convince you that the white man is out to kill you, they know they can convince you to vote against your own best interest. They already flooded this country with 20 million illegals, and they want to flood this country with 20 million more, maybe even 100 million. But the only way they can do that is if they gain power and gain a majority in the House and gain a majority in the Senate and gain the presidency. So they are pulling out all the stops. Soon as I see the NAACP, I know whatever's going on is corrupt. I know whatever's going on is corrupt. So I know, hey, if the NAACP supports it, I know I don't support it. It's very simple. Let me get this super chat. Jason Beaches. It's Jason Beaches. I love the good black folks of the community. Me too. I love, man, when I see a black person doing right, it brings a smile to my face. When I see young, intelligent black children, the other day, I was up at this coffee shop. It's a black-owned spot in Lakewood, California. Now, I know the people who own it are a bunch of blue-haired liberal freaks, But when I was in that when I was in that spot, man, I talked to these young black dudes, man. These dudes were very intelligent. These brothers were very intelligent. And we talked about podcasting and stuff. You know, I was in there talking to them brothers for hours. I was in there talking to these brothers for hours, right? And it was good to talk to these brothers, man. It was good to talk to these young brothers because it's like, why not? Why not? You know, I see some young men. They doing what they got to do, right? And they're not hurting anybody. They're not hurting anybody. They're not causing no trouble, you know? Right? I'm proud of these dudes. I'm talking to them. They sound like they got their heads on straight. You know, they're not out here. They want to do a podcast. They showing up, they showing love, they supporting the black-owned business. Right? And when we start talking about podcasts, they're like, yeah, we want to do a sports podcast. And these brothers are very knowledgeable. I actually noticed them because they were talking about all these different sports. And I'm just like, how do you guys keep up with all these sports? How do you guys keep up with all these sports? It makes me happy to see black people doing the right thing. But I promise you, when I see a no good nigga, I'm going to condemn them straight to hell. Because they ain't doing nothing but operating like an obstacle for the black people who want to do right. Like the Bible say, woe to you, you scribes, you Pharisees, you sons of vipers. You don't want to go in, but you want to keep the people who want to go in out. And that's what I feel. I feel like there's so many black people who want to do the right thing, live a healthy, happy, righteous existence, who want to have prosperity and peace. But then I feel like there's this contingent among us who is going to do everything in their power just to make sure we never will realize that goal. And the only way you're going to handle that is by calling them out. The only way you're going to get rid of them is by calling them out. See, the mistake the black community made for decades was we thought we could save these people. We thought we could save the degenerate element within our community. But slowly but surely, we are learning these people can't be saved. It reminds me of that scene in the movie Jason's Lyric, where Jada Pinkett, she says, stop trying to save a brother that don't want to be saved. And that's what we've been doing so long. And we're tired. We're tired. We like the hero. We like that person who's the hero at the end of the movie where we saving people. But at this point, we just barely got enough energy to get ourselves out. That's where we are. That's where we are in the stream of time. At some point, you got to let these people go. And I ain't talking about like Moses, let my people go. No. It reminds me of the movie The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. Remember at the end, the mama got Macaulay by the hand and he's an evil little bastard. And then she also got Elijah Wood, I think that's Elijah Wood, by the hand. And he's not her son, but he's a good kid. And the mom says, and the boy said, Mom, drop him and pull me up. I need your other hand. And in that moment, the mother realized this little nigga's evil. He's evil. And she lets her own evil son fall to his death and rescues the child that is worthy and deserving of being saved. That's what black people have to do. We need to stop trying to save the degenerates, and we need to start saving the people, and not even saving. We need to start directing our energy at people who actually want to do us right. When we do that, only then will Black people be able to take their rightful position on Pride Rock. But seriously, and the people and the first thing that needs to happen is that those old gray-headed niggas who taught us that no matter what, you got to keep on dealing with the punishment. No matter what, you got to keep on dealing with the abuse because we Black and that's family. So you got to be a glutton for punishment. You got to keep getting screwed over. You got to keep loaning these fools money knowing they ain't never going to pay you back. Them old gray-headed Negroes, only when they die off like the Israelites who had to wander through the wilderness for 40 years until they were reduced to nothing but corpses because the good Lord didn't want to taint the promised land with their presence. Only when we do like them, only when they are removed from among us, will we be able to have prosperity. I honestly believe, right? I honestly believe that there's only one scripture in the Bible that truly encompasses there's only one scripture in the whole Bible, in my opinion, that truly gives Black people direction that we can actually benefit from right now. And it was said by Jesus. I believe Jesus said that, right? And I want to share that, right? I want to share that with you. There's a scripture that is found in the book of Matthew, and it's found at Matthew 8, chapter 8, at verse 22. And Jesus said a whole word right here. He didn't say a lot, right? But he said a whole word right here. Oh boy. Let me share this. He said, and I'm not telling you got to follow Jesus or none of that. I'm talking about, look, follow the people doing right. Follow the Black conservatives. Follow the ones who understand what's going on. And we didn't figured it out and we ain't caught up on the nonsense and the bull crap. And we trying to offer y'all something that we trying to show y'all the way, right? But you keep saying, but what about my mama? What about my sister with her 10 kids? What about my family members who won't stop using crack? Because I got family members using dope, don't want nothing out of life. I got sisters laying up, having babies back to back by degenerate fools who don't want nothing out of life. There was the perfect example right here where one of the disciples said to Jesus, it says, then another of the disciples said to him, Lord, permit me first to go bury my father. Jesus said to him, keep following me and let the dead bury their dead. That is the only scripture Black people need out of the Bible right there. Let the dead bury their dead. I don't care if they're physically dead. I don't care if they're spiritually dead. I don't care if they brain dead. You do not have enough left to keep sharing it with these no good con artists, swindling, bamboozling niggas. You just don't got enough left. At a certain point, you can only save yourself and you can only help the people who actually want something out of life. That is it. That is all. There is nothing more. Let the dead bury their dead and move forward. Ben Crump, Nolan Wells' mama, Nolan Wells' daddy, Black Lives Matter, every nigga who want to try to fight the police. Let the dead bury their dead. The Obamas, these swindling black politicians, Al Sharpton, the grifters, let the dead bury their dead. Leave them behind along with the people who want to hold on to them. And I promise you, your life will be better off. Nolan, Wells, mama and daddy lived in Mississippi, but still found a place to live where they could live around primarily white folks. They didn't want to deal with niggas. Do you know how hard it is to find a predominantly white area in Mississippi? They had money and wanted to get away from you. But the minute their son died, who did they come to grift? Who did they come to grift? They only came back to you like dogs going back to their vomit to extract $1 million out of you, to use you to pressure the insurance company into giving them a payout for wrongful death. That's it. Beyond that, they didn't want to be around you. The mama repped her Filipino heritage. Nolan repped his Filipino heritage. This boy didn't even have black friends. But as soon as he dead, the black community got to rise up and go fight and demand justice on his behalf. I'd be a damn fool. I would be a damn fool to let these people manipulate me like that. And we got a lot of fools in this community. We got a lot of fools in this community. Shut up, my son. You ain't nothing but a bootlicking coon. Ever since the day I met you. You still my kinfolk. But I'm telling you, you's a bootlicking coon. Just know that. Know that I love you. But two things can be true at the same time. I can love you and you can still be a bootlicking coon. Just don't ever forget that. If I ain't never taught you nothing on this channel, just learn that. Take that and stick it in your pocket and keep it close to your chest, okay? Put it in your coat pocket so it's right on your heart, right on top. Guys, we got to quickly cover this situation because Black Lives Matters is trying to come back. Patrice Cullors then spent up the $90 million that the racist white companies gave her. Remember, Black Lives Matter, these white folks is racist. But then the white folks gave her $90 million on our behalf, and she found a way to not spend a penny of it on anything black. Guys, as we get into the story, please let me encourage you to hit the like button, share the content if you haven't already, and most importantly, contribute to the stream so that we can keep doing these daily lives. I actually did 2 lives today, and it's great. I'm having a great time. Contribute to the stream. We're asking for 5 contributions of $5 or more, and I believe we are already at 2. So we need 3 more. We have Cash App available. We have PayPal available. I will pin it in the chat. Let's listen and learn what our folks is up to next. This time, because you know we always up to something, boy. We always up to something, boy. But we gonna call it hot. Let's do this.
There is outrage today in Madison, Wisconsin over a police shooting that was caught on camera. 4 officers are now on administrative leave after one of them shot and killed a man allegedly armed with a knife. There were large-scale protests within hours of Wednesday's shooting. Mark Strassman is following this, and he joins us now in studio. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Police have not identified the suspect who was killed. They've only said he was in his 30s. The shooting happened in the middle of the afternoon yesterday in a popular area full of bars and restaurants. And last night, protesters marched to the Capitol demanding justice. And we want to warn you, this video, it's hard to watch. Social media video shows 4 Madison police officers struggling to detain a male suspect on Wednesday. One officer attempts to tase him, then another shoots him 3 times, about 2 seconds later.
MPD officers were dispatched to a call just before 1 p.m.
And I mean, sometimes when you see, I want to watch that again. Sometimes when you see
it's
this
hard
stuff,
to watch.
you just be like, damn, bro, what did you think was gonna
Social
happen?
media video shows 4 Madison police officers struggling to detain a male suspect on Wednesday. One officer attempts to tase him, then another shoots him 3 times, about 2 seconds later.
MPD officers were dispatched to a call just before 1 p.m. in the Marquette neighborhood for a report of a person who was allegedly checking parked vehicles.
Madison Police Chief John Patterson said the suspect fled the initial scene on a bicycle before those 4 officers re-encountered him around 1:30 and a fight ensued.
During the struggle, the man, we're told, pulled out a knife, and an officer was injured by this while attempting to arrest him. The taser was deployed.
It was 3 paychecks away from being exactly where this was. Am I right?
So the nigga with the afro, right? Because you know black folks always trying to do some symbolism. So the nigga with the afro basically said this guy deserved to try to kill police officers after he was trying to steal, because everybody in the crowd is 3 paychecks away to being where he is. I don't care if I don't even got no paychecks. I don't care if I'm homeless on the street. I'm not about to go break in people's cars, but that's what we do. It's just another attempt to justify criminality. They're not going to argue with the fact that he had a knife. They're not going to argue with the fact that an officer got injured. They're going to say, because this guy was poor and was a thief, right? He is above the law. Because all of us are just 2 or 3 paychecks away from being in the same spot he's in. Instead of checking people's cards, he should have been checking for a job application. He was stealing. When the police did their job, stopping him from stealing and breaking in people's cars, he resisted arrest. He pulled out a knife, allegedly, and he injured one of the officers. He got what he deserved. Because even from a little kid, we know you ain't supposed to be fighting with the police. He's old enough to know better. The Bible say, pay Caesar's things to Caesar's. He said, obey the law. That's what the Bible say. You're breaking the law. And then you're shocked when you lose your life. There's nothing shocking about this.
And an officer was injured by this while attempting to arrest him. The taser was deployed.
It was 3 paychecks away from being exactly where this was. Am I right?
And they're chilling for that. Cheers.
Say it.
This is my statement.
He was murdered.
This state-sanctioned violence was an execution. We no longer can have.
I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and today a Black man in his 30s was tased, grounded, dominated by at least 3 police officers, and fatally shot multiple times in the head. I don't know what's going on this weekend, Madison, Wisconsin, but shut it down. Atwood Fest, shut it down. The farmers market, shut it down. People don't know which way to walk anyway. Celebrating the opening of Madison Public Market, delayed again, shut it down. Monroe Street Farmers Market, Hilldale, shut it down. I don't want to see anybody say, good morning, morning, shut it down.
Boy. So we got to talk about Black Lives.
Right, shut it down. You gotta you can't live your life because this big back is mad because some degenerate got shot by the cops after he was trying to steal and then try to pull out a knife and stab a cop with it. These people are ignorant, bro. These people are ignorant. They're always trying to take away from the law-abiding citizen in order to defend a degenerate. I don't feel I feel no sorrow for that fool. He wasn't a kid. He was in his 30s. He knew better. You're going around trying to steal, breaking people's cars. People can't even leave nothing in their cars no more. You go to a city like Oakland, California, people literally take everything out of their cars and leave the windows rolled down. They can't even have a stereo in their car. And they roll the windows down because they're tired of the bums and the degenerates breaking their windows just to rifle through their things. That's the society you want to live in? That's the society this big back I have you living in. But you want me to tell you what she'll do? The minute she gets some money, right? She'll move away from you. The minute she gets some money, she will move to an area where this type of shit is not happening. These people want to keep the hood forever. So they could get street cred by saying, yo, I'm from 145th and Crenshaw. That's it. Yeah, you get to suffer through crime. You get to live under the threat of death every day just so I can feel good about being from the ghetto. Hell no.
State Capitol. State of shooting death.
Justified in defending themselves to this.
Boy.
New this morning, the police shooting death of a man in Madison, Wisconsin leads to huge protests throughout that city. That shooting was actually caught on camera by drivers, and it took place 2 miles from the state capitol. State officials are now investigating and calling for calm in the streets. Nick joins me now with what more we know about this incident. So, Nick, walk us through exactly what happened there.
Marky, there are a number of videos on social media that have only helped to fan the flames, but I can tell you this began on Wednesday afternoon with a call about a person attempting to enter parked cars in downtown Madison. When police arrived at the scene, that man in his 30s took off on a bike. Police caught up with him and tried to stop him, and that's when Madison Police Chief says that the man either fell or was taken off his bike by police. And then there was a scuffle on the ground, and officers say their suspect pulled out a large knife. Now, Madison police did release a picture of that knife to the public, and the chief says a taser was used in an attempt to subdue their suspect, but that was not successful. Police.
Wow. Are these people involved?
Bro, this guy got hit with a taser, didn't go down, then pulls out a big-ass knife and attempts to use it on the officer, and they're like, he was murdered. Bro, these people are stupid, bro. These people are stupid. The same black women talking about, I'd rather be in the forest with a bear than a man. All of a sudden, the man is no threat now because a cop killed him. Clearly, people don't want that type of shit happening because when they saw him doing it, they called the cops. And I totally understand them. Why do we have to live with crime? Why do we have to live with the curse of crime just so liberals won't feel bad because some degenerate got gunned down? He was a degenerate. He probably is killed. We don't know. The guy's rolling around with a knife like Debo. And I have to feel sorry for him. Throw the whole damn city away, as far as I'm concerned.
Was hurt by the knife.
To be immune from tasers, right? That's what's happening.
They say the officer who fired the 3 shots killing the man was hurt by the knife, but didn't specify those injuries.
I will say that I'm aware of cell phone video that has been shared and circulated online depicting this incident.
Man, people sit up and act like a knife is not a threat. When I was younger, my mom got stabbed in her arm. It was a little ass paring knife, probably about this long. No longer than my pinky. If you know what a paring knife is, it's like you use it to like cut open fish and all that type of stuff. Like I think that's what it's for. But it just was a little short paring knife, right? And my mom got into it with a lady, and this lady pulled out this little ass knife, and I promise you, she jugged my mom in the arm, right? Hold on. She jugged my mom in the arm with this paring knife. Bro, my mom, very small knife. Not really a threat. I mean, some people would say it's not a threat, right? Let me show you how small this is. Okay, here you go. This is a paring knife. So my mom, if you see that, you see the pears right there, ironically. But it's not very long. It's not very big. It's about 2.5 inches long. A lady jugged my mom in her arm with that. Do you know that lady hit an artery in my mom's arm? Blood splattered all over the living room. Blood splattered all over the living room. The ambulance was already on the way because another person had called 911 for somebody who was a kid who was choking right like 2 doors down. My mom grabbed her arm, ran outside. The paramedics got her. They put a tourniquet on her arm. They said if we wouldn't have been here, they said she hit a main artery in your arm. On just a fluke, hit a main artery in your arm, and you would have bled out in less than 1 minute. She got lucky. To this day, she still has like some nerve damage in her arm. The paramedic said, if we wouldn't have been here, you would have bled out in less than 1 minute. You would be dead. With that little tiny knife, that lady did that much damage. Now, I don't think the lady intentionally did it. She's not even in jail to this day. She's roaming the streets. But understand, when somebody pulls a blade out, they can do a lot of damage. And they can do a lot of damage without even intending to do damage. I think that cop made the right call. You could hit an artery in your leg and die. My sister, she got stabbed in the leg. They hit an artery. She had to get a tourniquet on her leg. She said it's the worst pain. She said them putting the tourniquet on her leg hurt more than getting stabbed because they got to make it so tight so blood can't come through, right? The blood will stop. People, I feel like the people who be like, the police didn't have to do that. I feel like these are people who just ain't never been through shit. These people just have no real life experience. That cop is trying to make it home to his family. He didn't force that guy to commit crime. He didn't tell that guy to go around trying to steal. But because it's within the scope of his job, he has to deal with that guy. You know you're caught. Lay your ass on the ground and accept your fate. This guy probably wouldn't even have done 30 days in jail for what he was doing because he didn't actually steal nothing, right? This guy might not have even spent a week in jail. But to avoid a week or 2 or 3 days in jail, this guy chose to fight the police and pull a weapon on them, and he lost his life. And then we gonna get amnesia like we don't know the way the law works. The lady hit him with a taser. He got right back up and then pulled out a knife. Well, if the taser won't put you down, what you gonna do next? Shit, you gotta get that out. You gotta get that fire. You gotta get that fire. You're a grown-ass man, dog. You know what's going on. You know what's coming, and you know what's coming next.
I ask the community recognize that there is other video that they have not seen, that's not circulating online, that will be reviewed as a part of this investigation. So
now, right now, I want to play for you one of those videos leading up to the moment that those shots have been fired. Now, we have stopped the video, but I do want to warn you that it may be hard to listen to.
What's the point of playing us a video that stopped, dummy? And then you hear some lady screaming, no! Why you wasn't screaming like that when this fool was stealing? Why you wasn't screaming like that when he was resisting arrest? I'm telling you, black people love lawlessness. I didn't know what the word lawlessness meant until I woke up and realized I was black. Lawlessness is what black people like. We like an environment that's unsafe. We like bullets flying through the walls, flying right over the top of our children's cribs. We like not being able to walk down the street without a thug saying, nigga, where are you from? And trying to rob you and shit like that. We love that shit. because it gives us an opportunity to play the victim. That lady screamed, ah, no! Shit. I would have just been like, good riddance.
That those shots have been fired. Now, we have stopped the video, but I do want to warn you that it may be hard to listen to. Now, speakers at the protest and videos on social media have identified the man, but police have not officially released the man's identity or his race. The same for the officer who fired his weapon. Now, advocacy groups in Madison accused the Madison police of excessive force. Officials say they are in touch with the man's family. The 4 officers involved are on leave. The Madison Police Department does not wear body cameras. Today, Marquis City and police officials are holding public meetings to speak with the community members in hopes of calming the tension in the community.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on the protest there. Nick, thank you for the latest.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to play some clips of the protest, right? And some more footage of what happened. And you guys can make up your mind in regards to whether or not you believe that this was justified based off the facts that we have right now.
During the struggle, the man, we're told, pulled out a knife or produced a knife, a fixed blade knife, and an officer was injured by this while attempting to arrest him. A less lethal device, a taser, was deployed. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. The officer who was injured by the knife is the same officer who fired his weapon at this man. I will say that I'm aware of cell phone video that has been shared and circulated online depicting this incident. I ask the community recognize that there is other video that they have not seen, that's not circulating online, that will be reviewed as a part of this investigation.
We need to talk about this one. I have watched the Madison, Wisconsin officer-involved shooting several times now from several angles, and this undoubtedly demands a thorough, independent investigation. I'm going to put this video here, but viewer discretion advised. Madison's own use of force policy says deadly force is to be used at the last resort. It says officers must reasonably believe there's an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. And
this lady's a fucking idiot. Dude, when someone pulls out a knife, they can kill you in a second. So that's a threat of imminent death. That's like someone pulling out a gun. If they decide to pull the trigger, you can instantly be dead. You could instantly be dead. What the hell what do these people want, man? What's up, Masan? If you add balance by covering something positive about the Black community, I will send you a super chat every day for a week. Please do better, Brandon. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I ain't got nothing good to say about these niggas, bruh. I'm sorry, bro. As much as I would love to take your money, I can't pat these niggas on the back no more. I'm done with that. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I will do that. I mean, we're so black, our teeth look whiter. That's a positive. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the $10 hour. These people are idiots. And it's sad because you see people who old, like this lady looks like she about 50. She aging like milk. Bro, lady, let a man chase you down with a knife. And I want you to determine at what point is the threat of death imminent. Stupid shit. This needs a thorough investigation. As soon as he put out the knife, his ass was done.
defines imminent as an immediate threat.
That's
in
an
this
immediate
video,
threat.
you see 4 officers struggling with one man who comes up to his knees. You hear one officer yell, "Taser, taser," and you hear the taser deploy. And then within seconds, 3 rounds are shot. Not 1, not 2. 3 rounds are shot at point blank range.
Yeah.
Police have said that the man had a fixed blade object and that one officer, the one who shot, was cut. I haven't seen a blade in this video or any of the videos that I've watched. It doesn't mean he didn't have it. It just means I didn't see it. But even if that's true, investigators need to tell us exactly what happened, where the knife was at the moment those shots were fired, whether or not that taser was effective in the 2 seconds before they actually shot, and what exactly made this threat so imminent that deadly force became necessary instantly after deploying that taser. These aren't anti-police questions. Those are the exact questions that Madison's own policy requires us to.
At what point was a threat imminent? I saw that video. The cop went too far. Someone pulls out a knife. Explain what's too far about that. Man, a lot of y'all just don't got no common sense. All right, let's go to our friend Google here. Okay. Does the person pulling out a knife represent an immediate threat of death? Let's see what Google says. Okay. So, no. Okay. No, simply pulling out a knife does not automatically represent an immediate threat of death. The legality and justification depends on the imminence and proportionality of the threat faced by the individual, intent and context. Displaying a knife without intent to use it is often considered brandishing rather than self-defense. So if someone's standing away from you, they pull out a knife, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to kill you. Now, let's add some context to it. Does a person pulling out a knife during a struggle with the police represent an imminent threat of death? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, in the context of a physical struggle with police, pulling out a knife is generally considered to represent an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury, justifying the use of deadly force by officer. We already know how this is going to end up. Now they got all the precedent. Tennessee versus Garner. They got millions of cases. What was bro doing? Was bro just walking down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice? No. He was in the middle of a struggle with 4 police officers. He had already been tased to the ground, got up, pulled the knife out. What the hell else do you think bro was going to do? What else do you think the dude was going to do? Look at this. Brandon, you're dead wrong on this one. No, I'm not. Based on what the police are saying and the picture that they took of the weapon, bro was, yes. What else was bro gonna do? Was he about to was bro about to chop some onions? Was bro about to fillet some fish? Was bro about to cut some wire? Why else would you pull out a knife while struggling with the police? Please stop being stupid. Please. You make yourself look bad. You make yourself look bad. Bro, if the police see a knife as a threat, they shoot. If you pull a knife out in the middle of a struggle, the first thing I'm thinking is you're going to try to use it to stab me. Every person on earth is going to think the same thing. That cop did what any person in their right mind would have done. When you have to start bending reality to justify your ignorance and your degenerate thought process, you've already lost. This lady is an idiot. Look at this lady. Look at who your ally is. Look at who your ally is. White liberal feminist looking fucked up, probably divorced or never been married. When this is your ally, you know there's something wrong with the way you think.
Accountability has to follow for this. You don't strengthen public trust
No
by
more BS,
demanding
shut up.
blind faith. This demands transparency. And right now, this case is raising more questions than answers. Complete, independent investigation.
Let us each be a shit to liberation. Come on now, somebody. Okay. Y'all don't hear me. Is y'all here with me? Yeah.
I'm oppressed because a knife-wielding lunatic got gunned down by the cops. This is black folks, man. Y'all got the big backs in the damn chairs. Come on, bruh. What is going on? What is wrong? What is wrong with us? Dude, they got the my 600-pound life candidates right here talking about let us be a shit for justice. Justice was saved. He killed that jackass with extreme prejudice.
Deserved to be shot in the head by the police.
He does deserve to get shot.
Oh, he was resisting arrest.
He was. And he pulled out a weapon.
Hell, I don't think anybody just holding a knife deserves to be shot in the head by the police.
He wasn't just holding a knife. He pulled out the knife in the middle of a struggle with the cops. He pulled out a knife in the middle of a struggle with the cops.
If you ranked American police spending against every other military.
Now she makes it about spending. If you ranked our spending, what the hell does spending have to do with this?
In the world, American police spending would rank in the top 5. We can't use that money to come up with any other way to subdue somebody. But also people who come out of the fucking sewers to say, oh, he was resisting arrest are so full of shit. Cops in America kill people in every single setting there is. They'll kill you if you are resisting.
Somebody said right here, the knife was pulled out the first time they got him. He managed to escape. He didn't have a knife on him the second time. They caught him. At this point, if he pulls a knife out at any point, I don't know if he has another knife on him. I know my grandpa, he used to walk around with like 3-4 knives on him. Now, they were small, but he has several knives on him. A lot of people do that. I don't know what other type of weapons you got on you if I see a knife hit the ground. I could see you reaching. I'm going to light your ass up. I'm not going to stand there and find out whether you got something. I'm going to light your ass up. We done tased you. We done told you to get on the ground. We done wrestle with you. You still fighting your way up. Today, you're going to jail. You resisted arrest. You had a knife on you. I don't know what you're reaching for. I don't know what you're doing. You got to go. You're sickening. Cancerous Libra, you're sickening. You people are, man, I'm telling you, these people have never been in a life or death situation. The only way you could try to justify this is if you've never been in a life or death situation.
They'll kill you if you aren't resisting. They'll kill you with your hands up. They'll kill you with your hands behind your back. They'll kill you if you're driving.
No, he's not my grandpa. My grandpa would obey the police. He wouldn't be trying to break in people's cars either. If you follow the law, you rarely ever have anything to worry about.
Away. They'll kill you if you're trying to stop. It doesn't fucking matter. And people know that.
How do you know he wasn't reaching for anything? If he wasn't reaching for nothing and he was no threat, why didn't he lay down and put his hands behind his back and let the police arrest him? Why are people so dishonest, bruh? What do you get out of lying? He was resisting arrest. You know that from the fact that he got tased and then got his ass back up. Man, y'all sound dumb, bro.
People just love the taste of leather.
Yeah. So you say that you heard that. You have a bunch of black activists.
He's got a gun. He's got a knife. Shoot, I'm glad the cop got his ass. I'm glad the police did his ass like old Willie Manchester. I got that bastard. Here we go. When I tell y'all they are looking for another George Floyd, these lunatics and degenerates, the ones in my comments included, they need a George Floyd, bro. They need another George Jesus Christ Floyd, bro. They're desperate. Everybody is George Floyd. I'm not refunding shit to you, Masan. I'm not giving you back nothing. I got your money, punk, but I ain't gonna give it to you. Masan, send me another $20 so I can play the Tariq Nasheed, Mr. Bojangles. Masan, somebody send me $20 so I can play the Tariq Nasheed, Mr. Bojangles video. We've had a long-standing a custom on this channel. If someone sends a $20 super chat, I play Tariq Nasheed, Mr. Bojangles. You get to see his knee all crippled up. Y'all remember that? Yeah, that's okay. He's my boy. Hey, don't talk about my friend Merciless. Masan is my boy. He supports the channel even though he doesn't agree. I like people like that. No, just start tap dancing for us. Hey, dude, I want to play that Tariq, Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Come on. I want to play that Tariq, Mr. Bojangles. Somebody send a $20 super chat. I want to laugh. It's funny. But when I play it, it gets my stream instantly demonetized. So I have to get a $20 super chat to play it. But I'm telling you, it's worth every fucking penny. It is so good. Mr. Bojangles. Mr. Bojangles. Hey, Tariq leg looked like how this dude was looking when he got shot. Just mangled. I'm not grifting. Listen, bro. Do you know what listen? So people are like, bro, you grifting. Okay. Put a 1. Put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you want me to give you 5 minutes of what it would sound like if I was grifting. Put a 1 in the comments if you want me to give you 5 minutes of what it would sound like if I was a grifter. Put a 1 in the comments. If you want to see what it would look like if I was actually a grifter, put a 1 in the comments. I'll show you what it would look like if I was a grifter. I'll wait. Oh, man, I had to burp. Shoot. Put a 1. Put a 1. If you want to see what it would look like if I was grifting, put a 1 in the comments, Lord. Let me get this Black Lives Matter post up here. Black Lives Matter. Is this it? Nope. Damn, Black Lives Matter be posting a gang of bull crap on their channel because this is buried. Yo, whoa. Hold on, I'm trying to find the story. I don't see this. How many pages does Black Lives Matter have? Okay, one. Look. Okay, y'all getting 5 minutes of grifting. Hold on. Let me make this bigger. All right. So the guy's name is Corey Ruiz. At this point, was he even black? Hold on. They are literally putting up have murals for this dude. It's always the same shit. Tired of black folks. I don't feel sorry for that no good thug. I'm telling y'all, I have no. Well, okay, let me stop. I'm not being a grifter. Here we go. All right, the grift is real. All right, let me get into character. All right, y'all. This right here is Corey Ruiz. He's a Madison, Wisconsin man who was simply just walking down the street, and one of the neighbors, probably one of the white people who moved in since they started gentrifying Madison, Wisconsin, called the police, lying, saying, Corey was trying to break into cars. Now, even if Corey was trying to break into cars ain't no violent offense. So I don't understand why they needed to send the police, and I don't understand why they needed to send 4 cops. Couldn't somebody just came around and told him, hey, man, we've been told you was breaking in cars. You need to stop doing that and let him continue on about his day? Right here is footage of, the deadly police shooting where 4 cops surrounded Corey. They started trying to subjugate, bro, put him on his knees like he's some type of slave. And then they ended up shooting him and killing him in cold blood after a cop randomly screamed out, knife, knife, knife. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't see no damn knife. I don't see a knife. I hear him saying he's got a knife. Oh, I don't see no knife. And look how they just shot him. Got him curled up like a ball. It didn't even take 3 shots. Why couldn't they have just shot him one time? Or why they couldn't have just shot him in the leg? Man, these dudes are racist as hell. They mad because this dude looked like, what's his name from Texas? What's that dude name? What's that dude name, the rapper? Lil Flip. They mad because bro looked like Lil Flip mixed with Carlos Boozer. Yeah, this beautiful, light-skinned, pretty nigga, he didn't deserve to go out like that. Hell no. This is why we need to defund the police. Because, man, we can't have safe streets. Man, safe streets is racist. Streets where people like Corey can't go around jacking people's cars with no consequences are racist. Yeah, this pig, man, he a racist. He did not have to shoot. Look at his fat ass. He probably just got tired and didn't want to wrestle with bro no more. So he shot him. He executed him. He lynched him. This is a lynching. Man, hell no. They all deserve to be fired. This is exactly why we need to. This is the same thing that happened to George Floyd. This is messed up, y'all. Make sure, hey, if y'all think this is messed up, make sure y'all hit the super chat. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App and the PayPal that's pinned to the comments. This is messed up. I know you want to chill with a player, but all you got to do is keep it real with a player. Oh, racist ass cops, man. And you ever notice this only happened to black dudes who look Mexican? This dude, hey, it would have been crazy though if the pedals was still spinning on the bike. That's all they needed. If the pedals would have still been spinning on the bike, they would have made this a movie. They would have made this a movie. But I'm telling you, these cops are racist, man. They've been given marching orders from Donald Trump and MAGA that if you see a black man and you suspect guilt, you have the authority to shoot to kill. Cold part about it is they'll probably be back on the streets within a month. See, this is why we got to vote for Democrats to let Mexican criminals, Hispanic, South American criminals who have come out of the prison systems of South American countries flood our country by the millions. See, because we need them to come in this country and get amnesty so we can vote to end law enforcement. See, this is why we need to abolish prisons. This is why we need to abolish ICE. There should be no form of law enforcement in America. If you really want to have peace and freedom, you got to abolish the police, man. You got to abolish prisons. Because if you didn't have police around, there's zero chance that this guy would be dead right now. There's zero chance that this guy would have died. Yes, we need to abolish police and we need to abolish prisons, man. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Today, do you think young people, Byron, the president's decided to go, they would get rid of the.
Hold on, damn. It's crazy how when you hit the back button, it goes back.
And borders, like I do go, I don't think that's a good idea. Like it feels like order and security. If someone says we're going to abolish all prisons and borders, like I do go, I don't think that's a good idea. Like it feels like order and security is also a progressive value. Why shouldn't people in neighborhoods with less resources have the same safety and security that neighborhoods with lots of resources? So are there tenets of those that are kind of following in the wake of Zoran Mamdani's success that you're not comfortable with or that give you pause?
You know, if you have more than one socialist in a room and there isn't disagreement, then you don't have more than one socialist in a room.
So, but you're comfortable with those kinds of discussions?
Well, I'm comfortable with disagreement, and I'm comfortable with disagreement that doesn't end the conversation entirely.
If someone says we're going to abolish all prisons and borders, like I do go, I don't think that's a good idea. Like it feels like order and security.
When someone says abolish all prisons and border, the conversation is over. I know that this person is a lunatic. There ain't even no point in continuing to talk. Because I would never allow this person within 1,000 feet of any position of authority. Come on now. We need to get rid of prisons. Now, let's see what the American people feel about this.
This president is a little maybe if we had a better president.
What would the country look like without a president?
Complete anarchy, violence,
Chaos.
happiest place on earth.
This president is a little maybe if we had a better president like Obama.
Obama was a great president.
Yes.
What did he do that was so great?
He didn't. Why would he send someone back that's making sure that their family is good over here?
Do you know what they called Obama?
What they call him?
The deporter in chief.
Oh. Shame on.
Do you guys ever notice that when they talk to people who say, we need Obama again, those people weren't even born when Obama was president? Do you ever notice that? This girl looked like she's no more than 16 years old. This girl wasn't even alive when Obama was president. But she knows we need Obama again. I've noticed the trend. All the people be like, we need Obama. They are always, none of them were born when Obama was president. And if they were born, they're literally like, they were like little babies. But they know every good thing Obama did. Please, man, get the hell out of here with this nonsense.
Shame on you, Barack Obama. Should illegal immigrants be allowed to stay in the country and vote in the country?
I don't think so. You can't just walk into a building and act like you're employed if you're not.
I think that you should be a citizen.
Yeah, because they pay taxes.
A lot of illegal immigrants are not paying taxes.
I mean,
This is a stolen land. Nobody owns America.
If I came into your house and you're sleeping on your bed and I said, get off, sleep on the floor, I'm sleeping in your bed, how would you feel?
Yeah, of course, you're my daddy.
I'm telling you, these people are mentally ill,
If you
man.
kill a person and you're an illegal immigrant, should you be deported?
Why'd they kill them?
I would say no.
If an illegal immigrant who doesn't belong in this country,
None of us belong in this country.
I'm pretty comfortable to say I belong here.
I wish that there was like, you know, an island that all murderers and criminals could be deported to.
It's known as Alligator Alcatraz.
Should we defund the Department of War?
War happens.
That's a
and
dude.
We need to be prepared for that.
We're not at a peaceful state in the world politically, so why would we do that?
We have a lot of money for hurting people and a lot of less money for helping people.
Our military
I like
is
hurting people.
It's strong enough.
How many days do you go to the gym?
Every day.
Why?
I like to be consistent.
And because you want to get stronger?
Yeah.
If you want to get stronger, why can't our military get stronger?
I mean, I don't know what to say. Yeah.
If we defund the Department of War and the Brits come back and try to take the land, how do we fight back with no military, no Navy, no Air Force?
Call to action to everyone. Like me,
You'll be on the front lines.
Yeah.
God help us.
Right.
We are done with that.
Do we really need the police department?
Yes, dude. What?
Some people out here are just like walling.
60% of that whole department is just based on brutalizing people for their own enjoyment.
How do you arrive at that number?
I'm not saying for real. I'm not quoting anything. I'm just saying with my heart.
They suck. NYPD suck.
If you needed help and a very good-looking NYPD officer knocked on your door, what would you do?
Kiss him on his forehead.
I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
Should rent be free?
No, where everybody's lazy. You have to work hard for what you have.
Not at all. Everybody should have a house. So yes,
So if you're living in a free apartment, who is paying your landlord?
the state.
If rent is free, who's paying my mortgage?
I don't feel like mortgage should be paid for.
But your rent should be paid for.
If you're rich, why shouldn't everybody be rich?
What is she talking about?
All these things we discuss is what the democratic socialists of America believe in. Does democratic socialism seem like a good idea?
I've been messing with it.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's not good.
No, not at all.
You know what the democratic socialists also want? A 4-day work week.
No.
You gotta learn to laugh.
What do you want to tell Jesse Waters you're on his show?
If you're hot, send me a DM.
Do you know who I am?
I don't know. You didn't introduce yourself.
Here's Johnny.
Johnny. My brother's name Johnny. Hey, it's Johnny.
These are your allies, the toe fungus of society, dude. These are your allies. If you look up and this is what your alliance looks like, you need to do some serious soul searching, man. If you look up and these people are your allies, there is something wrong. Somebody's peeing in the kiddie pool, dude. Guys, it's been beautiful. I love you. You love me. We're best friends and family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? That's an original track, by the way. That is an original track. I got to copyright that. This idiot said better than MAGA. Shut up, Godmine. Shut your fucking face. You would love being in a group with a tranny, a gay Asian, some weird looking light-skinned chick with no body, with spikes on her boots. This is the scum of society. We need to round them up. We need to round them up. What are the lyrics to the Barney in outro? Here we go. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? I love you. You love me. We're best friends like friends should be. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Guys, Barney was back when all was right with the world. When we loved the kids and we weren't just diddling them. You know what I'm saying? There was like very little kid diddling back in the Barney never caught a charge, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. Barney never caught a charge, bro. Barney is good with me. I don't care what y'all say about Barney. What about this one? What about this one? Do you know this one? Y'all don't know about nothing. What the hell? Damn, bro. These dudes are fully integrated. Here you go. Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. 'Cause on Tuesdays, they all try to catch them unaware. Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. 'Cause on Tuesdays, they all try to catch them unawares. That song made no sense. What the hell were we watching when we were little kids? I was watching Barney. I was watching Bananas in Pajamas. I was watching VeggieTales. I was watching Eureka's Castle. I was watching Fraggle Rock. I was watching Pete and Pete. I was watching Salute Your Shorts. I was watching Legends of the Hidden Temple. I was watching Double Dare. I was watching American Gladiators. I was watching MAC Masters, WMAC Masters. I was watching WWF, not WWE. I was watching WCW. Look, I'm aging myself. I know. I remember when I didn't have gray hair either. Cat Dog, Cat Dog, Cat Dog. Rocco's Modern Life, Doug. Man, let me tell you something, bro. I'm going to tell you the real. You know when they had the lettuce outbreak, right? You guys know about the lettuce outbreak? You guys know that the lettuce is fucked up? Tell me if you know about that. Do any of you know about the situation with the lettuce? Dude, I promise you, when I saw the situation with the lettuce, I literally started singing, "Oh, we oh, killer tofu." Doug Funny predicted all of this, bro. Don't play with me. Doug Funny predicted all of this, bro. I literally was like, "Oh, we oh, killer tofu." On God, I said, damn, the healthy shit is now killing us. I promise you. That was the first thing that popped in my head. Oh, killer tofu. Remember when Patty Mayonnaise came over bro house for dinner and bro was like, "Hello? Hey, what's up? I'm good. I'm on live right now." Okay. All right. Anyway, dude, remember she said she wanted to have liver and onions. So bro spent like a whole week trying to get used to eating liver and onions. I was crazy. I felt that though. Cause my grandma used to cook liver. No onions though. With me though, liver, I could eat liver when it was just fried and it was cold, like out the fridge, but I could not eat liver with gravy, bro. Just couldn't do it. I couldn't do Muppet Babies. Remember Muppet Babies? I used to watch Muppet Babies. I used to watch, remember that show Dinosaurs? You know that show Dinosaurs was like the first woke show ever? Like, you know that show got canceled because people stopped watching it because it got too woke. Remember, it was just about the baby, not the mama, and it was funny. And then they started exploring all these dark themes. Remember, the brother got addicted to steroids. Remember, the sister got sexually assaulted. Remember that? The dad, he got harassed at his job. That show was great. And then it just went woke. The ending was dark as hell. Remember that they died in the end. They literally took a show that was like funny as hell with that little baby dinosaur, and they turned that into a dark show because at the end of the show, they got destroyed by the meteorite. And they basically was like, oh, look, the sun's out. And then they like open the curtain. They like all walk outside because it's like the sky looks nice. And then bam, the meteor blew up the planet. Bro, Dinosaurs was funny. Not the mama. It just got way too dark, too fast. Earl Sinclair. What? Sinclair? Earl Sinclair. Who's Earl Sinclair? Let me see. Y'all remember that? Dude, I used to watch all the shows. TGIF was like the best lineup ever, bro. Step by Step, Family Matters. What else was on there? Was Full House on TGIF? I don't think so. Was it Boy Meets World? Boy Meets World. I forgot all the shows. I want to say Full House was on there. No, bro. Yeah, we was there. Voltron. That's old. That's old. Voltron might be a little bit before my time. Family Matters, though, yeah. But I do remember Voltron. But I was born on the tail end of Transformers. Remember when Optimus Prime got killed? He got destroyed. I was born in that. I was born I was 1 or 2 when that season came out. Two Stupid Dogs. Hey, bro, I'm going to go way back. You listen, bro, you ain't really real if you wasn't watching Little House on the Prairie, bro. I'm telling you right now, you were not real. If you ain't a real one, if you weren't watching Laura Ingalls, her sister, Kelly, or whatever her name was, Pa. If you didn't watch Little House on the Prairie, you ain't real. If your grandma didn't have you watching Hunter and Murder, She Wrote, you ain't real, my nigga. I'm just like, there's certain white shows that validate a nigga's blackness. I'm just being real with y'all. Like, there are certain, I'm gonna be real. We just talking like Americans right now. All bullshit to the side. There are some shows that there are white shows, but they validate your blackness. If you didn't watch these shows, you're not black, bro. I feel that. Like, if you didn't watch Golden Girls, my nigga, you're not black. I don't care how dark your skin is. If you didn't watch Golden Girls, my nigga, you are not black. I'm telling you. Golden Girls transcends race, time, all that. If you didn't watch Golden Girls, you're not black. Period. A-Team, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son. Oh God. Now, if you did watch this show, if you watched MASH, you not black, bro. If you looked at MASH for any reason other than to fall asleep, you're not black. Highway to Heaven, Touched by an Angel. What? Don't play with us. You Touched by an Angel, freaking man, there were so many shows. Dude, I already said Hunter, Columbo. If you didn't watch Columbo, you're not black. Oh God. Leave It to Beaver. Yo, ass is old. Yeah, but that used to come on. I used to watch Leave It to Beaver. If you didn't watch Murder, She Wrote, if you didn't watch Matlock, my nigga, or Perry Mason, You ain't real, my nigga. If you, not the old Perry, after Perry Mason got fat as hell, that's the Perry we need at the gray in his beard. Knight Rider, don't play. Knight Rider. If you didn't watch Knight Rider, you ain't real with the car kit. You ain't real. Man, MASH is terrible. Dude, MASH had the best theme song for falling asleep. Bro, if you didn't watch Andy Griffith, you're not black. And if you didn't watch the Beverly Hillbillies, you're not black. I'm keeping it real. If you didn't watch Andy Griffith or the Beverly Hillbillies, you're not black. And if you didn't think that Matlock and Andy Griffith were two different people, you not black. Because I swear to God, I thought that was two different people. And it was the same dude. Taxi, nobody black watched Taxi, and nobody black watched Cheers. If you watch Taxi or Cheers, you not black, bro. If you watch Taxi or Cheers, you are not black. Straight up. You're not black, my nigga. Like, no black person watch Cheers, bro. You could even watch Bewitched. I'll give you Bewitched, but you couldn't watch Cheers or Taxi and be considered black. I'll even give you All in the Family. You could watch All in the Family with the one lady, and you could still be considered black. If you watch Roseanne, you not black, bro. Man, Cheers was terrible. Look, if you watch Coach, you were not black, bro. Did you know Coach went for 11 seasons? That was a terrible show. How that show lasted 11 seasons is crazy to me. Gilligan's Island, of course, bro. Gilligan's Island was mandatory. If you didn't watch Gilligan's Island, you're not black, bro. If you didn't watch Gilligan's Island and beat your meat to Marianne and Ginger, you are not black, bro. You're not black. Thank you, Robert. I see you. I'm telling you, bro. If you didn't watch Doogie Howser, you're not black, bro. Straight up. There are just certain white shows that validate a nigga's blackness. If you didn't watch Seventh Heaven, you're not black, dude. If you didn't watch Gilmore Girls, I'm sorry, you're not black. Your black card is declined. I'm telling you, if you didn't watch Step by Step, you ain't black. There's certain shit, Boy Meets World. You just had to watch that or you not black. Y'all don't know. Like, I'm telling you. Wings, hell no. If you watch Wings, you definitely not black. Nobody watched that shit. That wasn't even believable. Bro, Seventh Heaven was good. You a hater, bro. If you didn't watch 21 Jump Street, you not black, bro. Straight up. Step by Step was good. Topanga, listen, if you didn't think Topanga was the finest little thing on earth, you ain't black. That girl was fine. Topanga, she was fine. That girl blossomed. We all had a Little Rascal, bro. Little Rascals is like from the 1930s. What the hell are you talking about? Knight Rider, Topanga was bomb. What happened to Topanga? Let me look her up right now. Let's see. You know who else was fine? Lizzie McGuire, dude. She was fine. Man, Ben Savage is weak. Where's the place at? Velo. This is a clinic? I might come over there. Let's see, bro. Because she was so cute. I'm trying to see her today, though. Hey, Topanga low-key was the first woke YS. She ain't all that no more. Yikes. Yeesh. She did not age well. Come on, man. She looks like a Smurf. Yee. Saved by the Bell. Righteous, righteous. Who's the boss? Yep. Magnum PI. Yep. Hunter. Columbo. Murder, She Wrote. You know what I'm saying? Bro, if you listen, bro, I'm a give you a throwback. If your grandma didn't make you watch Agatha Christie murder mysteries, Murder on the Orient Express, you ain't black, bro. I'm just telling you straight up. Straight like that, bro. If your grandma didn't make you watch Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express, you ain't black, bro. I'm just telling you. Fresh Prince, of course, bro. That's what I'll say. You know, Fresh Prince was written by 2 white people. The whole concept was made up by a white lady and her husband. Didn't nobody watch no damn Starsky and Hutch. Get that shit out of here, bro. Maud, nobody watched that. Matlock, yes, Matlock. Matlock, yeah, Matlock for sure, for sure. Andy Griffith, straight out of Mayberry, my nigga. Y'all don't know the truth. If you didn't watch Matlock, you don't know the truth, bro. I'm just telling you straight up. Matlock. Odd Couple. Nobody watched that, bro. Come on, Miss Berry. Mork and Mindy. No. Yeah, if you had Nick at Night, I guess. If you had Nick at Night, yeah. The Rookies. Happy Days, yes. Man, what would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Oh, baby, have a little love. What are the lyrics to that? Wonder Years theme song lyrics. Hey, I actually liked the Wonder Years reboot with the black kid. It was good. The dad, be cool. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby. What? That is not how I remember that going. Oh, baby, I get by with a little help from. Oh, baby, I get by with a little help from my. Damn, that's what they were saying. I swear, I thought they were saying have a little love for my friends. It actually was saying, oh, baby, I get by with a little help from my. I get by with a little help from my friends. What? By with a little help from my friends. All I need is my buddies. Bro, this song's lyrics are nothing like what I heard, bro. The song lyrics to this, the Wonder Years theme song, what the lyrics actually say, 100% was not what we were singing. I'm just gonna be real with you. We were not singing. Yeah, I said, who's the boss? Entirely me. Hello. Who had the most iconic theme song? Facts alive, nigga. You old for real. Punky Brewster. Okay. Ha! Yeah, Punky Brewster was legitimate. Yeah, thank you. Well, we knew the words goes and goes. Thank you for being a friend. Travel around the world and back again. My heart beats true. You're a friend and a confidant. And if you threw a party, and I don't know the rest of the words. Y'all niggas are old. Good times. That was before my time. In Living Color. Yes. Mad TV. Yep. We only know the words to a certain point. Stop fronting. Don't nobody know all the words to none of those. Batman and Robin, Spider-Man, X-Men. Yeah, bro. Simpsons, Married with Children. Yeah, Sanford. Sanford and Son. Yep. Dang, are we missing anything? I feel like we might be missing something. A Different World. Damn. Dang, Smart Guy. Do y'all remember that show, Homeboys in Outer Space? That was a crazy show. I'm surprised that actually got aired. Three Stooges. Malcolm and Eddie. MTV, that's a whole show. Chico and the Man. What? Where y'all? Y'all pulling some shows out your ass now. We ain't talking about the shit you was watching on Lifetime. We not talking about the stuff y'all was watching on FX and shit. Didn't nobody watch that shit like that. But low key, we did have HBO. So I did watch shows like Real Sex and stuff when I shouldn't have been. I was young watching that. There was a show called Who Remember? I'm gonna test y'all right now. Who remembers the show Grand Avenue? Who, we know you had money when you was young. If you had HBO, I think it was called Grand Avenue. Grand Avenue HBO show. Yeah. If you remember the show, Grand Avenue, that's an old ass show. And it was about Mexican and black gangs in Santa, it was about this Mexican gang and this black gang. And they was beefing in a place called Santa Rosa, California. Do y'all know about that? Do y'all remember Grand Avenue? If you a real one, you a real one if you remember that. That's an old ass show. They'll probably hit my channel if I play the clip from that shit. Or was it a movie? Oh, it was a movie. It was a movie. Yeah. It's about these Mexican gangs and these black gangs beefing in Santa Rosa, California. And the sister, she's Mexican, but she dates this dude. Okay, so like the family, this is the art. But so it's actually a Indian family, like a Native American family. They moved to Santa Rosa, California, and the blacks and the Mexicans are beefing. The gangs are beefing hard. So because they Indian and people never really been around an Indian, they assume that they're Mexican. So like the Mexican dudes is trying to like get her brother to join the gang, the Mexican gang. And then like she starts dating a black dude and everybody thinks she's Mexican. So the Mexicans start like tripping on her, like, how you dating that mayate? How you dating that black motherfucker like that, right? And she's like trying to explain to them, like, yo, I'm not Mexican, I'm Native American. And so they start like beating her up and trying to pick on her and stuff. That was a crazy ass movie. New York Undercover, hell yeah. What? New York Undercover is one of the greatest shows of all time. Look, we was still in cable. Look up that show, Grand Avenue, bro. You will not read. I don't know if you could still watch it, but that's a classic. Her boyfriend is this black dude. He like the leader of the gang. Bro was like, bro was so ready to smoke a Mexican, dude. That nigga was rolling around with a burner ready. The movie Dusk Till Dawn. Well, the movie's called Dusk Till Dawn. But no, I'm talking about this movie called Grand Avenue. Check it out. It was good. New York Undercover. Hell yeah. Anyway, guy, Taxi Cab Confessions. Yeah. That's a classic. You had to stay up late night and watch that shit. But people used to be, people used to be crazy in those taxi cabs, I'm telling you. Welcome Back, Carter. I know that movie, but I don't think it's Cotter, but okay, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go check my daughter out. She's going to this clinic. Man, it seems like my daughter is always playing volleyball, bro. She's always playing volleyball. But, I just want to let y'all know, ever since I took over her strength and conditioning, she's been balling. We fly high, no lie. You know this. Balling. We was working out today. That's why I was late to the joint. That's why I was late to the show. Because we were working out. We were working out. Silly of me to think that you could ever. All right, I'm out of here. Thank y'all so much. We made this stream last way longer than it was supposed to, but I like to just chop it up, Thank you so much for watching this. Peace, y'all.